Well, one thing we know about Hamburg Kathy, Governor Kathy Hochul, this is a
very competitive.
She's very competitive. And she is an expert on grammar and diction. And now she has an opponent that, what we're expecting is an opponent that is pushing the needle. National media, all around New York State. And, of course, we know her as the representative of New York 21. And a recent poll just showed this is serious. This is the first poll that actually shows a true head-to-head. All the other polls had 2 or 3 possible Republican candidates. Elise Stefanik joins us. She's a congresswoman from the New York 21. And Siena poll just came out that shows, hey, look, 3/4 of Republicans are with you, ma'am. But the big key is independents. They're leading and trending towards you. Hochul can have New York City, but if the independents turn, now this is a real race. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Buffalo.
Great to be on the program and join you today.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I want to first get into some of these issues a lot of our local Democrats seem to want to run away from. Cashless bail. I've yet to heard anyone defend cashless bail. The Working Families Party, the progressives, the socialists, the communists running for... We have our own Memdani running for mayor in Buffalo and Senator Sean Ryan. He won't do interviews. He runs away from everything. But when it comes to cashless bail, everyone wants to tell you, no, this is not a bad thing. We're better for having bail reform, Discovery Acts, the HALT Act. These are the folks that voted for these. These would not exist without Democrats in New York State. Is cashless bail going to be an issue in this gubernatorial race?
100% it's going to be an issue. And you know what Kathy Hochul and Democrats across New York were spending their time on yesterday? They were doubling down on failed bail reform, saying that there was no crime crisis in New York State. You ask any New Yorker, Republican, Democrat, Independent, they will all tell you New York has become less safe because of the single-party Democrat rule that is tripled down on failed bail reform. This is a policy that prioritizes criminals over law-abiding New Yorkers. You talk to anyone in law enforcement, our county sheriffs, our troopers, our DAs. We're dealing with repeat offenders over and over again, and these are violent criminals who are being let into the streets. And I know this recent news in Buffalo where they had to close down the JFK pool, which kids need those resources during the summer, and it was because of the crime crisis. And yet you have Democrats led by Kathy Hochul doubling down on this. So the crime crisis will be a top issue. As it is this year, it will be next year.
They're on 20% of all of these issues. You're in New York 21 representing them in Washington, D.C. The proximity to the border, we saw a 440% increase in illegal immigrations coming from the Canadian side. Everyone wants to talk about the southern border, but as you well know, Buffalo ERO and Buffalo ICE, with all their jurisdictions, if you go to their social media, every single day they are pulling a child sexual predator, a murderer, a drug trafficker, you name it. Not a peep out of Kathy Hochul. Nothing. It's like it's happening in a different world.
Right, and I've been the leader at the national level in terms of raising the awareness nationally of the security challenges on our northern border. We need more Border Patrol. We need more personnel and resources on our northern border. And did you know that if you look at the individuals on the terrorist watch list, the number one sector where those illegal crossings cross is in the Swanton sector, which is the region, as you know, from Buffalo to my district. So this is a crisis, and yet Kathy Hochul is prioritizing illegals. We are a sanctuary state. That was the first executive order she signed, and then she went on to sign it 3 times total, and then yet she testifies in front of Congress saying, we're not a sanctuary state. Look at the executive order, Kathy. New Yorkers are smart. They know this. We've worked very closely with our CBP officers, our Border Patrol officers, as well as local elected officials, local law enforcement, whether it's the insane green light law, which Democrats have put forward, not allowing our law enforcement to work with our Border Patrol to make sure that we're securing the border. And we know the importance of balancing the economic economic partnership with Canada, always putting New York first, but that important trading partnership. But you have to secure the northern border. Kathy Hochul has failed in that respect, too. And, of course, she's failed if you look at the crime crisis and the illegals first focus in New York City.
You know, I watch, it's almost must-see TV. I encourage everyone to look at when you grilled Governor Walz and Pritzker and of course, Governor Hochul in Congress and asked these questions. I assume they were under oath. I mean, she swore under oath that she cooperates with ICE. This is a game that Governor Hochul plays all the time. You know, we're only after the worst of the worst, but in order to convict someone, you have to arrest someone. And if you're not cooperating with local law enforcement, you're clearly an impediment between law enforcement getting to the bad guys. You grilled her on this issue. She fell apart, as she always does. When you look at this race and these debates, I mean, the way that you are going at these issues, you're talking about cashless bail. You're doing that at the federal level now. So it's not just what you're focused on in New York State. As a congresswoman, you're out there in D.C. and you're saying, hey, if you guys won't fix your stuff in Albany, I'll do it for you at the federal level.
Exactly. If Kathy Hochul, which she is doubling down on failed bail reform, we're going to step in and fix this crime crisis for her because she has failed at this job. It's why Democrat polling continues to be in free fall. It's why she is known as the worst governor in America. And to talk a little bit more about that hearing, I've had a lot of hearings over the years. I've seen all types of witnesses, well-prepared witnesses, witnesses that aren't prepared, dealt with cabinet-level officials, taking it down university presidents. I was honestly surprised, David, how ill-prepared and out of touch she was on very easy questions, to be honest with you, whether it was talking about the homeless New Yorker who was burnt alive on a subway by an illegal. It was on front page news. Everyday New Yorkers know about this. And Kathy Hochul feigned she was not aware of this. Or the rapes of minors that were committed by illegals who, because of sanctuary state policies, have been allowed to stay in New York State. Kathy Hochul said she wasn't aware. So not only was it appalling, it's just out of touch. It's out of touch, and frankly, it's inhumane. We need a governor that focuses on putting New Yorkers first, that stands up for the rule of law, instead of spending billions of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars for services for illegals while New Yorkers are struggling.
Elise Stefanik joins us. She's a congresswoman from New York 21. Without you, Harvard would still have their president. Without you, I don't think anyone would know what was really going on at Columbia. And truly, it's that ability to leverage national media on things that New York journalists, New York media just doesn't want to cover. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. We have a communist anti-Semite running as a Democrat, and no one, not in Buffalo, Albany, Rochester, New York, no one will force Kathy Hochul to say, do you support Zohran Mamdani? Yes or no? Are you on his side? What's going on with the Democrats where you're putting out communist Islamists as your candidate? Pick a side. You can't just run away from, I think, these important questions, right?
You're exactly right. And for years, until still today, the mainstream media have functioned as stenographers for the Democrats nationally. And this is something that I think President Trump really blew a hole in. He exposed all of it. And in the case of Zohran Mamdani, what's also interesting, David, is both Hakeem Jeffries, who's the New York Democrat leader of the minority party in Congress, and Chuck Schumer, of course, the minority leader, the Democrat leader in the Senate, both of them are eligible to vote in the New York City mayoral's race. Not a single journalist has asked them who they have voted for. That is how disappointing the mainstream media has been, how they've failed to, look, you need to hold all elected officials accountable. It needs to be an objective way. We remember as Republicans, Republican elected officials were chased down to respond to every statement, every vote from President Trump, who we voted for in the presidential and in the primaries, and yet Democrats aren't asked these questions, and Kathy Hochul is allowed to get away with not commenting on Mamdani, whether she supports him or not. people see through it. New Yorkers are tired of this double standard in the media. They want strong leaders who will take a position. My position on Zoran Mamdani is he is a raging anti-Semite communist. He needs to be defeated. We need to elect Republicans up and down the ballot. And Kathy Hochul, we need a governor who provides a check. God forbid he gets elected. She is incapable of doing that because she's bending the knee while also hiding.
And by the way, I'm against a passive communist anti-Semite, but a raging one is something we should all, Democrat and Republican, lock arms in and say that New York, we're better than that. I want to talk about this Siena poll. You know, people talk about previous polls, but as far as I'm concerned, this is the first poll. All the other ones had all these different Republicans that could possibly throw their hat in the ring. This is the first one-on-one. And if you go back to Pataki and Mario Cuomo and you look at these numbers, I'm going to tell you what, I can tell you what's in Kathy Hochul's head at 2 a.m., and her name is Elise Stefanik. This is a really bad trend if you're Kathy Hochul. Far too close, but the margins that you're looking at right now with independents and the fact that Republicans are now saying, this is our candidate. There are no names. We're all behind this one candidate. You don't even have Democrats saying, you still have people talking about maybe Hochul could be replaced with someone else. Republicans, 3/4 of them are with you, and independents are moving to your side. This is the best shot we've had since Pataki.
Well, I was excited to look at the results of that poll, and if you look at Lee Zeldin's race, he ran a tremendous campaign, and no one paid attention in the national media until that final poll in October that showed him about the same as this poll. He was within 12 to 11 points. We are closing this gap a year and a half out, and it's because Kathy Hochul, last cycle was undefined because she replaced Cuomo on the ballot. Now Kathy Hochul owns this misery and the destruction in New York State. We are going to go on offense, winning independents and winning a fair percentage of Democrats. This is what I've done in my district. I'm proud to be the longest serving New York Republican in Congress. People may forget, but my district was Democrat before I ran in 2014. Not only did we win Republicans, we overwhelmingly won independents, and we peeled off about 20 to 25% of registered Democrats. People that are looking for a strong leader who delivers results to New York and specifically, in my case in Congress, to the district. So that's what we're going to continue to focus on. We have an opportunity to grow those numbers. Her numbers are only going to decline. And the kiss of death as a candidate which Kathy Hochul has in common with Kamala Harris is the more voters hear from her, the less they support her. So while she continues to put herself out there, the numbers continue to drop. We are going to continue to put our vision out there and hope to earn and work to earn more support from New Yorkers across party lines.
God bless you. How could people join the team, support you? What's the website? EliseStefanik.com. You can follow me on social media. We have a website. Please join the team. And importantly, this year's November are important local elections. We are focusing on building the groundwork to save our state. We're supporting Republican candidates up and down the ballot. So vote for Republicans in your local elections this year in November. Hey, listen, I love Lee Zeldin. I've known him for years. God bless his service. He's a wonderful man. He's not Elise Stefanik. There were moments in those debates where I was screaming your name because in that one-on-one, this is one of the toughest Republicans on Capitol Hill, a trusted member of this administration to go out there and do the work that nobody has the courage to do. And New York needs this type of warrior running the governor's mansion. God bless you. Thank you for taking time. You are welcome anytime you want to come into Buffalo.
I'll be back on the show. Look forward to seeing you again.
I appreciate that. That is the great Elise Stefanik. She's running, well, she's in the polls, closing on Kathy Hochul. She's a congresswoman in New York 21. She knows the issues. She's super aggressive on these issues. She's got her facts. She's unafraid. She's unapologetic. And she's absolutely a barracuda in a debate. And this is something Kathy Hochul has not had before. And I love me some Lee Zeldin. There were 5 moments in that race where Lee Zeldin could have closed the gap on crime, on violence, on immigration. Just was not able to get over the top at a very susceptible Kathy Hochul. This is a different candidate. This is a different type of person. And this is going to be a completely different race. Completely different race. Again, you can run all you want. You've got to embrace Mamdani. Either you turn on him and say vote for Cuomo, vote for another candidate that also happens to be a Democrat or an independent, whatever Adams you want to call him. But you either endorse the opponent or you endorse your party's nomination and your party's nominee. You can't run away from it. Sean Ryan's run away from it. And here's the crazy part about Senator Sean Ryan in Buffalo. You're running for mayor and your voting record is identical to Mamdani. The only thing Sean Ryan hasn't done is get married in Uganda. Outside of that, it's the same guy. Different religion, same dude. Same voting record. All of these crazy working family, left-wing, socialist ideology, it's all there. Elise Stefanik is saying, I'm not running away from who I am. These are my issues. Hochul, if you can't fix this in New York, Elise Stefanik is going to fix this in Washington, D.C. Eliminate, at the federal level, cashless bail. Go after crime. If you can't fix New York, and by the way, you're upset with the D.C. Guard going in, you brought in the New York National Guard to the subways a year ago. You've got the National Guard in our prisons today, 3,000 of them. It's going to be a great race. The Siena poll is the first poll because Mike Lawler's not in that. All these other Republicans aren't in there. It's Elise Stefanik, Kathy Hochul, head-to-head. And you've got to talk about issues. Only in Buffalo can you run away from people that want to ask you the tough questions. Only in Buffalo can the Democrats throw smoke grenades and run out windows and avoid any discourse between people that disagree with them and have substantive positions on different issues. That cannot happen in New York State. It's not going to happen with a race for governor. And it's the reason why Elise Stefanik is at a completely different level than most Republicans in New York State. She's ready for this. She was built in a garage to handle this. And I think this is going to be really super. Well, let's use Kathy Hochul's words.
I'm very competitive.
It's going to be a competitive race. I really believe that from the bottom of my heart.